escalating violence and rising death toll in Gaza this week, Israel unveiled a new defense system to deflect accusations of human rights violations. Israeli officials praised the new safety structure's ability to intercept an international barrage of war crime allegations and divert criticisms of Palestinian civilian casualties before they can ever hope to make contact with the Jewish state. In other news, a new state law requires doctors to scale an 18-foot wall surrounding abortion clinics. A study finds high school students retain only 1/3 of their obsolete curriculum over the summer, and a man's anxiety is not about to let depression muscle in on its turf.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on guys, duh, it's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
All right, welcome to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. I am your host, as always, Aria DiMezzo of theanarchistgmail.com, joined in the studio today by... Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Chris. Try again. Of Think Penguin and Freedom Decrypted.
Awesome. And
I'm Michael Hampton of CryptoTip.org.
So, as we were talking about just a few moments ago, you said something about having posted to the Telegram chat. I've been kind of distracted most of the day, right?
Right.
Because this chick I used to date is a psychopath, right? An actual, literal psychopath. And her latest victim reached out to me a number of months ago. I don't even know how he found me, but he did. And he wanted to find out the story about it and things like that. And it finally just went to hell recently. So he's been messaging me about that. And it's very distracting, because it was a big thing, you know, for me. It's an ordeal to go through crap like that. And I've never spoken about it, or I've alluded to it rather, but never spoken about the details of what actually happened, except to him, because he's gone through exactly the same thing.
Right.
So it's all just kind of there in the back of my mind, unexpressed. And when something like this happens, it drags it up. It's just, it short circuits my brain for the rest of the day until, you know, I put it behind me again. But that's interesting. There's a lot of talk about gaslighting here in the United States because it's the word of the day, sort of like how, you know, them Russians was the word of the day of 2017.
Right.
Everybody gets accused of gaslighting all of the time, especially politicians. Like, the big thing I've seen among the left, especially places like Salon, is frequent allegations that Trump is gaslighting his supporters. And it's not a sentiment that I can agree with, having been through actual gaslighting, because all politicians are guilty of it. But to me, and this may be correct or incorrect, but my perspective on it is that gaslighting is a lot more personal.
Yeah, my understanding is that gaslighting goes way beyond just simple lying.
Yeah, and that's what Trump is doing, is just lying. I mean, there is some truth. He's doing the same thing to his followers that the psychopath did to me and to this other guy, which is exploiting their emotional vulnerabilities in order to mislead them. He is doing that. He's exploiting people's vulnerabilities in regard to immigration and all that. The fear is their vulnerability that he is exploiting. And he's amplifying that and causing them to misremember things and to just completely be misled. So he is doing what classically would be considered gaslighting if it was done on a personal level. But
he's doing it to everybody.
Yeah, I just can't see the perspective that suggests one person can actually gaslight 150 million people.
Do we need a new word for it?
Politician. He's politicizing.
Yeah, that one. You know.
But Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is doing exactly the same thing, exploiting people's fears about global warming. She actually said that the world is going to come to an end in 12 years if we don't adopt the new Green Deal.
Yeah, we heard that.
That's exactly the same kind of thing that Trump is doing to his followers. So it's not unique for Trump by any means.
You know, the thing is, on both sides, the lies are what they're, for the most part, they're what their supporters actually want to hear.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's how psychopaths work. That's how they exploit you. They don't just say, "Oh, well, you're misremembering this random thing." They tell you that you're misremembering it in a way that you would like to remember it. It's like, "Oh no, we didn't fight. We ended up going out and having a good time or whatever." And obviously, something that transparent wouldn't work.
Right.
But that is the general tactic that they use in order to worm their way inside. So I think, realistically, we have to admit that Trump is doing the same thing, but that it doesn't qualify as gaslighting because it's not personal.
It's not personal. It's more broadly directed, right?
Yeah, to me, the personal aspect of it is critical. And I think it cheapens, the actual psychopaths out there, because they are out there. And I was thinking earlier today, there really should be a database, some website somewhere that keeps track of these psychopaths where you can review an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend and warn people away. Because I'm not the first person this chick did this to, and I'm clearly not the last. And the father of her oldest child actually killed himself.
Oh my.
And it's her fault for doing this to him.
Yikes.
Why? There isn't a website like that already?
Not that I'm aware of.
Probably should be.
There absolutely should be.
Well, I just assume that anybody on Plenty of Fish is someone you don't want to get involved with. So,
well, she wasn't on Plenty of Fish. I mean,
Tinder?
No, it wasn't any of that. I mean, she was a childhood friend.
Oh.
So, yeah, I mean, I knew this chick pretty much my entire life.
Forever then.
Yeah. And, she
just
turned
come
out
of nowhere then? Or?
No, we had a special relationship because we did. It was one of the things she exploited. Of course, for her, it turned out to all be fake, clearly. But as we grew apart. She moved to Alabama, which is the only state in the U.S. that's actually worse than freaking Mississippi, possibly. And life-wise, I mean, she was in Vegas and I was in Mississippi, so we're